Do is have a look at where you might care to spend some of your money. As you may well know, up at their factory in Sunderland, Nissan produced the Primera road car. What you may not know, it's also where they produced the body shell for the Primera raced in the British Touring Car Championship by the Janspeed Team. Now this is the only car in the championship which is actually made in the UK, but the differences between the road car and the racing car are considerable.
Well, here we are back at Janspeed, and with me is Janspeed's team manager, Alan Heafy. Now, Alan, this is the basic shell of the Nissan Primera, which you race in the Touring Car Championship. What do you do to this to turn it into your super-duper race car?
Well, firstly, we get it supplied, as you see it now, from Nissan in Sunderland. It's their production line type built car. We have to add to this car a lot more chassis rigidity to get the thing to work properly on the racetrack. So basically what we do a lot more additional seam welding to the car, which is really duplicating what they've already done on the production line, but we just do a little bit more of it so that we can tie the front end of the car to the back end of the car a lot more securely. In addition to that, we have to look at driver safety, so we put into the car a fairly comprehensive roll cage, which is integrated into the body, again for the two reasons. One is to let the driver, or have the driver to have a very good rollover protection cage, but give the chassis more strength again. So again, we can get a good rigid chassis, give us a good response back on the racetrack.
Right, you've done all your additional welding, you put the roll cage in, what else do you do to it?
We then find the critical suspension points, and we are limited to where we can pick the suspension pickup points from within the regulations. We find those, which is done through engineering, and they pick up that through various drawings and dimensions that they have. We weld into those, into the body, those points, strengthen them up so that again there's no flexing of these points, so that you again get this good solid suspension location, and then fabricate the suspension as in uprights and control arms ourselves to our standard, so that we can again get back to having what we want the car to do, and that's what it's all about.
And you haven't even put the engine in yet?
Exactly right, yeah.
But so just listening to it, I mean, the car that we actually see on the track then, I mean, it's not really a Nissan Primera at all, is it?
Well, it is really. It's just a matter of they run a multi-link suspension. We also run the multi-link suspension. Under the regulations, we can't change that. We can only sort of optimise on a few of the pickup points so that we can get the various critical points of suspension, as in roll centres and your camber changes, all that sort of thing that you require in the right spots. But we change very little from the original car. Like the engine is the same engine, it's modified of course under the regulations. The suspension is the same multi-link suspension as we use in the road car. We change the component itself so that we can get more adjustment into the thing, but generally it is exactly the same concept as what Nissan have developed into the car as a chassis originally from a production car.
We got the suspension sorted out, we got the chassis sorted out. What else have you got to do to it to get it on the track?
Well, we take the basic engine and we do various tuning tweaks to it, if you like. We do a little bit of head work on it to make the thing flow the air a little bit better, put a better exhaust system on it, change the camshaft profiles, alter the compression ratios, and that's about it. The engine itself runs to 8,500 RPM. The standard production engine in the Primera GT runs to 7,500, so there's not a lot of work required for good reliability. And we put a management system on it which is more adjustable. That's basically all it is. We can adjust a lot more parameters to make the engine breathe better and work better and rev better. And we do that on the dynamometer and come up with an engine that puts out around sort of 260 plus odd horsepower.
And this is how it all finally turns out. The Nissan Primera British Touring Car Championship version. And very nice it is too. Mind you, they do put a set of wheels on before they drive it, I believe. Now with me is the man who actually does drive it, Keith Adore. Keith, how is it going? What's it like?
The Primera is a tremendous car to drive in the Touring Car Championship. Already an excellent car in standard form. Delight to drive. Good engine horsepower, good torque characteristics. We're already probably the best handling car in the British Touring Car Championship. We're still working on the power and torque relationship. That's improving every race.
Now you've sort of been coming sort of 6th and 8th and sort of down there. What are you going to have to do to get up into the first three and hopefully win races? Is that down to you, or is that down to tweaking the car still?
Well, a very difficult question, really. I mean, to put it in perspective, first to eighth, you're talking about probably less than a second a lap. Now, in order to find that, you've got to extract power from the engine, extra performance from the tyres, more from the driver. Exactly what ratio is down to you.
Okay, well, let's talk about more from the driver, because that is down to you, quite literally. I mean,
yes.
Great things are being talked about you. Do you find sort of all the hype and the pressure of people saying that you're one to watch a bit of a bore?
No, not at all. I mean, you really need to get the adrenaline flowing to get the best performance in qualifying and in the race. And I personally find the more pressure, the better I can get out of myself.
I mean, and obviously because Janspeed is a business which is run by your family, I guess over the years you've had that old business flung at you. You're only driving it because Dad owns the company. Does that annoy you?
No, I mean, that's natural. That's life. There's nothing I can do about it. I mean, as you say, the company was started by my father some 30 years ago. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to produce it and take it on to be as successful as the last 30 years.
Now, what about Janspeed's involvement? Because, I mean, it is a family business. Are you just in it because you get a buzz out of driving motor racing cars, or is it a hard-headed business exercise which you can show the accountants why you're doing it?
No, it's really a case of cracking both nuts with one sledgehammer. We're in it because A, it's my love for the sport, an interest, a knowledge, and B, because we're slowly turning it around into a profitable business. Up to now, if you like, we've been somewhat subsidising the motorsport activities within Janspeed to get to a level such as the British Touring Car Championship. We're now in a position where we withhold the engineering expertise and the facilities, probably the top 2 or 3 in the country. And that is accessible now to manufacturers, and Nissan have shown their interest in combining their resources with ours.
Honestly, I'm not sure that Nissan are going to like the line this chat's going, are they? Because, I mean, it sounds to me as though you actually come up with a much better car than they give their customers when they buy it from a garage to have at home.
Yeah, I think basically the thing is that out of all of this, there's generally a feedback to them that in turn next year and the year after gives them a better car anyway.
So what sort of things actually do you tell them and tell them about the car and teach them that they're able to put into their road cars?
I don't think we can teach them very much at all, because really there's production car building and then there's motor racing, if you like, and they can sort of look at what we've done and how we've changed things, and maybe they can get some basic suspension areas that we've changed. Again, with under the rules, and say, well, okay, down the road that might be a good thing for a production car. But generally, I think that Nissan in particular are fairly well advanced in most areas, and like I said, all we do is trim it a little bit, if you like.
If I went out and bought a Nissan Primera tomorrow from my local Nissan dealer,
yes,
how similar would it be to what Keith drives around the track on a Saturday afternoon?
Well, apart from the fact that you couldn't hear yourself talk in it, if you rode one of our race cars compared to the road car, probably that's the biggest difference between the two cars. One is completely just a body shell with a driver's seat in it and a steering wheel and a gear lever, whereas your road car is fully trimmed out, has all your stereo and your heating and all the rest of the thing. He doesn't have that.
I think I could probably get the better deal, wouldn't I?
You're right.